Do you feel like you are stuck or left behind in life? Do you feel like you are taken for granted? Do you feel like your energy is being taken away from you? Watch this 30-minute video as it will help you a lot in life in 30 minutes that took me 10 years of my life to understand. Before I start, let me ask you this. You are swimming on a lake and you somehow noticed a grown adult preparing to swim on the lake. But after some seconds you saw him screaming because he was drowning. Would you go ahead and rescue him? Yes, of course. Nobody would say no. But wait a minute. What if the individual panicked and may instinctively grab anything including you, the rescuer, to try and stay afloat? This actually is a phenomenon where a drowning person pulls down an attempted rescuer and is often referred to as aquatic victim instead of rescuer or AVIR syndrome. This can lead to the rescuer also being dragged under the water, making the situation even more dangerous. This instinctive drowning response would make them may not be aware of who is trying to help them or how to be helped. Ladies and gentlemen, the exact same scenario is happening to the majority of us in our everyday life. There are people living among us who don't know how to swim in the lake of life, and when we notice them drowning, we feel bad. So we try to rescue them, but they panic and instinctively grab the rescuer firmly and drag him with them to the water. Those people are all around us, and they are mostly responsible for every fall of family members and relationships. We've all encountered them, the individuals who leave us feeling drained, stressed, or questioning our worth. These are the toxic people in our lives, and understanding their behaviors is the first step towards protecting our well-being. The concept of toxic people describes individuals who exhibit patterns of behavior that negatively impact the emotional, psychological, and sometimes even physical well-being of those around them. Identifying these patterns is vital for fostering healthier interpersonal dynamics. Some people uplift us, others consistently bring us down. This is about the toxic individuals whose presence can poison our lives. A toxic person is anyone whose behavior upsets you and adds negativity to your life. It may just be their personality, but many times, people who are toxic become that way because of their upbringing or life experiences. They don't know healthy ways to deal with their own stress, so they behave in ways that cause harm to other people. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at those 20 ways to find out if we are dealing with one of them. Before we start, I am going to need you to focus on something, and that is, those people are drowning individuals, so they are looking for someone. Not to be rescued though, but to drag the rescuer with them. Here are 20 ways to know if you are surrounded by toxic people. Number 1. You consistently feel drained or exhausted after interacting with them. These individuals often suck the energy out of you, leaving you feeling emotionally depleted, even after short encounters. It's a snowball effect. It will first drain your energy and sense of well-being. Then it can drain you physically. Loss of sleep and low appetite fatigue. Those energy vampires can be anywhere and anyone. They are the people you encounter who leave you feeling drained and exhausted. They can be your spouse or your best friend. They can be your cubicle mate or your neighbor. Number 2. Interactions are frequently negative, filled with complaints, criticism, or drama. Conversations tend to revolve around problems, negativity, and fault-finding, leaving little room for positivity or constructive discussion. Number 3. Toxic people struggle with accountability and tend to deflect blame onto external circumstances or other people. They rarely take responsibility for their actions. They may blame others for their problems or mistakes and refuse to acknowledge their role in any negative situation. This lack of accountability can lead to unresolved conflicts and ongoing tension. Number 4. You feel manipulated, controlled, or pressured by them. Yes, toxic people often engage in manipulative behaviors to control or exploit others, using tactics like gaslighting, guilt-tripping, or emotional blackmail to achieve their goals. They may use guilt trips, emotional blackmail, or other tactics to get their way, leaving you feeling used or taken advantage of. Number 5. Your boundaries are consistently ignored or violated. They disregard your no overstep personal space, and don't respect your time, energy, or emotional limits. They do that because they feel a huge sense of entitlement in whatever you do with your life. Those people are so entitled that they keep asking you questions which are personally to dig information out of you on a constant basis. Number 6. They are excessively self-centered and show little genuine interest in your life or feelings. Conversations often revolve around them, and they may seem uninterested or dismissive when you try to share. Being perceived as self-centered can lead to a negative reputation, affecting social standing and professional relationships. Dangerous aspects. Impulsive decisions. Self-centered individuals may make decisions without considering the consequences for others, leading to harmful outcomes. Number 7. Toxic people often engage in gossip, negativity, and judgment, often to boost their own self-esteem or mask insecurities, which can damage relationships and create a hostile environment. This indicates a lack of trustworthiness and suggests they likely talk about you when you're not around. Gossiping about others can make a toxic person feel better about themselves by making them seem more knowledgeable or interesting. Number 8. They thrive on drama and seem to create or escalate conflict. They might stir the pot, enjoy watching arguments unfold, or thrive in chaotic environments. Drama-loving toxic people have a knack for disrupting peace, often leaving others emotionally drained. While they may not be overtly abusive, their actions can erode your well-being over time. But here's the kicker: their behavior isn't always obvious at first. It can start with subtle jabs, manipulative comments, or unnecessary conflicts that slowly escalate. Number 9. They constantly criticize or belittle you, your achievements, or your dreams. Their words often leave you feeling inadequate, insecure, or questioning your self-worth. Toxic people excel at deflecting blame. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions, they project their faults onto others, making them the scapegoats for their own mistakes. Criticism and judgment. A toxic person may excessively criticize and judge others to cover up feelings of inadequacy. Number 10. They are highly judgmental and have rigid, often negative, opinions about everything and everyone. They lack empathy and struggle to see different perspectives. A toxic person may excessively criticize and judge others to cover up feelings of inadequacy. By projecting their self-doubt onto someone else, they create a smokescreen that hides and distracts from their shortcomings. Number 11. They are poor listeners and often interrupt or talk over you. They prioritize their own thoughts and opinions and show little regard for what you have to say. Toxic people do not actively listen. People love talking but not listening. A bad listener passively absorbs what they're told before launching into their own unrelated anecdote. This results in the speaker not actually feeling heard or understood at all. Number 12. It's a common observation that toxic people often fail to offer genuine support, instead prioritizing their own needs and desires, or even actively undermining others. They rarely offer genuine help or celebrate your successes. They may be envious, competitive, or simply incapable of being genuinely happy for you. Toxic individuals tend to be highly self-centered, focusing primarily on their own needs and desires, often at the expense of others. They often lack empathy and struggle to understand or acknowledge the feelings and experiences of those around them. Number 13. You find yourself constantly walking on eggshells around them, fearing their reactions. Their unpredictable moods and potential for outbursts create anxiety and make open communication difficult. You may experience this when the toxic person is what you consider him or her as your hero or whatever, so you do whatever you can to keep them entertained and keep them around. They might have said something like, "You will never find someone like me in your life," while adding some emotions to steal your attention. And now you have to be so careful with your words during conversations so that they won't get mad at you. Number 14. They make you doubt your own perceptions and feelings. They might deny things they said or did, making you question your sanity or memory. The modern definition of gaslighting is a psychological manipulation technique in which a person tries to convince someone that their reality is untrue. It is a tactic often used by narcissists to gain control of their intended target. Gaslighting tries to create bewilderment, embarrassment, and misconceptions in the victim's mind. The person performing the gaslighting is attempting to confuse a person into questioning their own beliefs, values, thoughts, and behaviors. Number 15. They are often inconsistent in their behavior and moods, leaving you feeling confused and uncertain. This unpredictability makes it difficult to build trust or feel secure in the relationship. Their behavior is completely unpredictable. You guys might be enjoying a nice sunset together, laughing together, and they suddenly flip their behavior 180 degrees. Number 16. They have a victim mentality and consistently portray themselves as being wronged. They avoid taking responsibility for their circumstances and seek sympathy from others. Some people who take on the role of victim might seem to enjoy blaming others for problems they cause, lashing out and making others feel guilty, or manipulating others for sympathy and attention. But Botnick suggests toxic behavior like this may be more often associated with narcissistic personality disorder. Number 17. Interactions leave you feeling confused, frustrated, or angry without a clear reason. Their manipulative tactics and negative energy can have a subtle yet powerful impact on your emotional state. Every time you are engaging with them trying to be as logical as possible, but they know how to hijack the topic to a whole different angle, and then you start wasting additional energy so that to keep the conversation by the new angle, and that's the time you feel you are getting tired of it and start to get confused and angry. Number 18. You notice a pattern of strained or broken relationships in their history. This can be a red flag indicating a consistent issue with their interpersonal behavior. They are not like the rest of us. They might live among us, but trust me, they have no sociable structure in their DNA left. Or simply they are just vampires walking among us and making the life of their spouse a living hell. Number 19. You feel the need to constantly defend yourself or justify your actions around them. They tend to question your choices and motives, making you feel perpetually on the defensive. As the result of years of manipulation, you would feel like explaining whatever decision you do in your life to them and then expect a reaction on how they would perceive it. You would feel like they should know whatever you are up to. Number 20. Your overall well-being and self-esteem decline when you spend time with them. They have drained your energy on a consistent basis over the years, and now you are left with none. We all have enough energy every time we wake up in the morning to use them only for ourselves. Those people suck that energy out of you without you knowing it. If you consistently feel worse about yourself and your life after being around certain people, it's a strong indicator of their toxic influence. This is it, guys, they do exist. You can imagine how many people are suffering from their existence. If you notice all them 20 ways I just listed, you can see that someone clearly doesn't need a university degree to spot them. They are drowning and they choose not to get help. Instead, they have intentions in dragging anybody who attempts to rescue them. They are around us. They might be our siblings, spouses, parents, or even our children. Or simply they are vampires. They have a lot in common with them vampires than with us humans. Vampires suck blood for a living, whereas toxic people suck your energy for a living. They both cannot survive without having someone as their energy supplier. Let me say this right here. If you ever feel that you are behind in life or you are not progressing in life as how you should be, chances are high that you are surrounded by at least one of them. And they are keep you down from reaching your life goals. I was learning about them the other day, and almost all the people who were with me on their 50s were saying, if I had known this in my 20s, my life would have been much better. Well, if that is the case, we need to be able to know how to deal with them. Dealing with toxic people requires a combination of self-awareness, boundary setting, and strategic communication. Here are 20 ways to navigate interactions with them. Number 1, knowledge. You must have enough knowledge about those people. No matter how mentally strong you are, but without knowledge, your mental strength is absolutely nothing. Imagine going to a war without doing thorough research about the type of weapons your enemy is ready with. No matter how disciplined the army you have, if you don't know anything about your enemy, you will never win the war. That's why knowledge comes first when dealing with toxic people. You must know what you are up against before you do anything. One day I was talking to a man in his 60s, and he was telling me that if he had enough knowledge about toxic people when he was in his 20s, his life would have been completely different. We are the most luckiest generation to ever walk the Earth's surface, as free information is one click away from us, unlike 1970s and 1980s. Number 2, recognize and acknowledge the toxicity. Recognizing and admitting that you are in a toxic relationship may be difficult. as many people are blinded by love and temporary happiness. Additionally, many people feel they may be lonely without that friend, lover, or sibling. The first step is identifying the patterns of behavior that are harmful or negative. Once you recognize it, you can consciously choose how to respond. Here are some points that would help you in recognizing one. When you are together, does this person talk about himself or herself the whole time? Does he or she verbally put down others or gossip? Does the person make you feel happy about spending time together, or do you feel burdened? Are you walking on eggshells because you are scared to upset this other person? Let me say this right here. This is not rocket science because our instincts are already designed to identify any threat to our human nature. Number 3, set firm boundaries. After recognizing the patterns of toxic behavior, the next step would be to set boundaries, and they have to be firm, otherwise they are useless. Firm boundaries are the only way you can put toxic people in their place. Trust me, trying to reason with them or trying to engage in a logical discussion will never be fruitful when you are dealing with those people. Clearly define what behavior you will and will not tolerate. Communicate these boundaries calmly and assertively, and be prepared to enforce them. They must be enforced, otherwise they will never be taken seriously, and the toxic people will keep crossing them knowing there is no consequences for their actions. Number 4, limit your exposure. The more you are around them, the more it hurts. The more you speak to them, the more you would get gaslight and manipulated. Even if you don't say a word to them, they still manage to keep draining your energy. That's the magic thing that I still can't figure out how they do that. So the only way to keep your energy is to stay a mile away from them and limit your exposure. By being exposed to them, you are providing them with a fresh amount of energy, and they won't hesitate to take all of it. Reduce the amount of time you spend with toxic individuals if possible. Create distance, both physically and emotionally, to protect your well-being. You do that, you have successfully cut their energy supply line, and this will result in your inner peace. Number 5, don't try to change them. Understand that you cannot control or fix toxic behavior. Focus your energy on managing your own reactions and protecting yourself. That's because trying to change them will also cost you more energy, which you don't have. It would be worth trying if they had some hope, but they don't. I have lived some part of my life with many of them. Actually, I was surrounded by them. I had no idea what I was up against at that time, and I was young, so I was trying to do the good thing by trying to change them, which turned out to be the worst idea. I don't think they are from this planet because the way they behave has nothing to do with humans like the rest of us. Number 6, stay calm and avoid getting drawn in. Toxic people often thrive on emotional reactions. Practice staying calm and detached during interactions to avoid fueling their negativity or getting caught in their drama. And do you want to know how to do that? It's simple. Do not entertain them. They are just like adult babies. The more you entertain them, the more they drug you in their circle of misery. If you stay calm and avoid entertaining them, however, there is no way they would get access to your energy. But you have to remember that those people use different tactics to get you involved, like starting a simple conversation where you and them share some common grounds. Then they gradually shift from that point to a whole different point without you realizing it, and now you are stuck in a conversation you hate to have with them. So it's better to avoid entertaining them from the get-go to whatever conversation they come up with, even if it's your favorite topic. Number 7, practice empathetic detachment. While you can acknowledge their potential pain or struggles, don't let it excuse their toxic behavior or allow yourself to become their emotional dumping ground. This is the part where many people fail while dealing with such people. Empathic detachment, while seemingly contradictory, refers to the ability to understand and acknowledge someone's emotions without becoming overwhelmed or emotionally reactive. It's about maintaining objectivity and emotional boundaries, allowing for rational decision-making and preventing burnout. In this situation, you have to understand that how they are behaving is not your fault, so you should never have any sense of guilty inside you by practicing empathetic detachment. Number 8, learn to say no. Don't feel obligated to fulfill every request or demand. Saying no is a powerful way to protect your time and energy. It's not that easy to just start saying no to those people because, let's say, if you lived with them for some years, they might have already manipulated you emotionally and you are living in fear. But if you do decide to say no, don't back down. This may prove challenging, especially when they use a dramatic outburst to try to get their way. But the more you practice saying no to things you aren't comfortable with, the easier it becomes. Trust me, if you stick with saying no on a constant basis, that's the time they would start looking other energy supplier because you are not anymore. Number 9. Don't take their behavior personally. Remind yourself that their toxicity is a reflection of their own issues, not a reflection of your worth. If you are dealing with them and you see them trying their manipulation tactics on you and making you feel bad about yourself, remind yourself that you have nothing to do with what they are saying and just let them say whatever they want to say without showing any emotional or physical reaction. All they need from you is a simple reaction to throw a lighter on. So it's wiser to not take their behavior as a direct threat to your personality. That way you choose your battles wisely. Number 10. Build your support system. Having people around you that you can talk to is way more helpful than you can imagine. Let me say this right here. Those people love to see you isolated from the society. That way it is easy for them to control you. Just like what I said on the previous video, in order to control someone, you have to separate them from the group first. Do not cut contact with your friends just because your other toxic half don't like them. It's a good idea to have them around and make sure you keep contacting them. By doing that, you will never lose the grip of reality that would possibly cause by the continuous yapping, manipulating, and gaslighting of your spouse or your family members or whatever the toxic person might be. Number 11. Keep interactions brief and focused. When you can't avoid them, keep conversations short, to the point, and focused on the necessary task at hand. Trust, trying to be reasonable or logical will never help you during conversation with them. They are not interested in common sense, they are only interested in their self-centered logic. They possess some sort of demonic abilities that can help them to make you question whatever logical reasoning you came up with. And during that time, you will most likely question your reality, which means they successfully derailed you from the rail. That's exactly what they do, so it's best recommended to keep any conversation with a yes or no ending without asking opinions or their points. Number 12. Have an exit strategy. Plan ways to gracefully end conversations or leave situations if the interaction becomes too negative or draining. If you don't know how to exit from whatever they come up with, please don't get in. Be gracious with your exit while having enough respect for yourself and for others to know that your character is your greatest asset. Know that although it may take time, toxic people and places will eventually be brought to light, and have patience. When I say leave the conversation, however, doesn't mean you have to exit it after insulting them or whatever. If you do that, that means you lost the game. It's wiser to exit peacefully without showing no reaction, like, for example, you can just simply say, "Well, I gotta go now," instead of "Leave me alone, you always make me feel bad." Number 13. Don't engage in gossip or negative talk. Avoid joining in on their negativity or speaking poorly of others, as this can further perpetuate a toxic environment. Ladies and gentlemen, those people are masters at such skill. This skill is mostly spotted at workplaces, like they might come at you as nice and hardworking people and try to help you with whatever job you are doing, trying to be your friends. Then gradually, they start telling you stuff that should never bother you, like stuff about the supervisor or how idiot the manager is, and you buy it and you would be one of them playing their game. They do that because they want to have you as a backup supporter to whatever they are up against. Number 14. Prioritize your self-care. Ensure you are taking care of your physical and emotional needs through exercise, healthy eating, relaxation techniques, and activities you enjoy. This will build resilience. It's important to prioritize self-care, set clear boundaries, and keep your distance while dealing with toxic people. Explicitly state your boundaries and hold people accountable when they cross them. To safeguard your well-being, keep your interactions with the toxic person to a minimum. This will help you keep your physical and mental well-being intact. Refrain from being negative, get comfortable saying no when it's appropriate, and ask friends, family, or a therapist for help. Number 15. Keep them poor in knowing about you. You should never let those people know what you are up to in life. Trust me, they would never hesitate to compromise you future plans. Those people have no plans for future, so they hate to see someone with future plans. You can even tell that every time you are involving in a conversation with them, they are busy in underestimating what you have accomplished in life. They come up with different ideas to make you feel what you have accomplished so far is bare minimum and nothing glamorous about it. Number 16. Practice forgiveness for yourself, not necessarily for them. Holding on to resentment can harm you more than the toxic person. Forgive to release the emotional burden, even if you don't condone their behavior. You might have wasted years of your life trying to help them, but now you realize how much time you wasted and you are left behind in life because of that. And now you hate them and you have lots of anger inside you. Well, guess what? Holding a grudge will never help in this situation, and they will never get it that you are mad at them. So the best way to heal yourself is just forgive them, but doesn't mean forget them or do the same mistake over again. Number 17. Document interactions if necessary. In professional or legal contexts, keeping a record of specific toxic behaviors can be helpful if you need to escalate the issue. This is very crucial, especially when children are in the picture, which makes the situation a little bit harder. In this situation, you are not just going to successfully execute the previous tactics, as there are many stuff that would bring you to in interaction. So it's better to document every dangerous and toxic behaviors and use them whenever legal matters are involved for reference purposes. Number 18. Learn de-escalation techniques. If confrontations arise, remember that's what exactly wanted to happen. They crave confrontation more than anybody in the world. That's because confrontation is one of their many ways to get unlimited energy supply, especially when it involves emotions. Learn strategies to de-escalate the situation without compromising your boundaries. Better don't play by their game, because if you do and things go wrong, they will make sure to flip on you and be your worst enemy at the court of law. Number 19. Know when to walk away. Cutting ties with toxic family members is a difficult but sometimes necessary step to prioritize your well-being. Acknowledge the harm, grieve the loss of the relationship you desired, and seek support from therapists, support groups, or trusted friends who understand. Sometimes, the best way to deal with a toxic person is to completely remove them from your life if possible. This is what we call cut off. If you have the chance and circumstances are suitable for you to go on the cut-off mode, for example, there is no children involved, it's well recommended to cut them off before it's too late. Number 20. Let them go. At the end of the day, you are not the reason why they behave that way, so it's better to let them go. Holding on to toxic individuals is like carrying a heavy weight that constantly drains your energy and hinders your ability to move forward. These relationships often involve negativity, manipulation, and disrespect, eroding your self-esteem and creating unnecessary stress. By letting go of toxic people, you create space for healthier connections and opportunities that nurture your well-being and allow you to flourish. Prioritizing your peace and happiness means recognizing when a relationship is detrimental and choosing to release it for your own growth and a brighter future. Ladies and gentlemen, now you understand why I use the panicked drowning person scenario. Those people are not here to make life better, they are here for the opposite. However, like I said earlier on the video, if your instincts are telling you that you are kinda behind in life, always remember that there is someone around you who is making sure you are behind. Let me ask you this, what would happen if you put a tomato in contact with a rotten one for days? Sooner or later the healthy tomato will be rotten as well. That goes the same to us humans. We only have one chance and one life only. Identify the people who deserve your love, your time, and your respect. There are people with the spirit of an angel out there who are ready to be discovered. There are people who are so sweet and deserve your time and your respect. Take action and find them before it's too late and make your life beautiful. Anyway, this is for the day, guys. If you think this video is cool and enlightening, please consider subscribing for more videos, and now I am out.